I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it.
Oh, I agree.
Huh?
Well, the mic turns red when the group chat speaks. They're stirring up trouble every other week with a list so bold it'll split the room. Talking about real Americans and hotel perfume. They said, rank your drinks before 10 a.m. Now every dad's mad and ignoring them. From fantasy football to Bucky snacks. Them dudes, they don't hold back.
Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Let's rock and roll. It is the Group Chat Podcast. We are having a wonderful time so far. We're going to have so much to talk about today. Oh, my goodness. We got LSU stuff. So much in the world has changed since we last recorded. Brian Kelly's got fired. And even since Brian Kelly got fired, so much has changed. The governor's speaking and saying crazy things. And Coach O is on podcasts saying crazy things. And people are speculating. It is just absolutely insane. There's rumors and whispers about Brian Kelly's buyout, which what they did or didn't pay, what he did or didn't do. There's all sorts of layers to that onion. And then, oh yeah, something that we're not even talking about because of the Brian Kelly stuff. The Saints have benched Spencer Rattler for the season. They announced today there's going to be Tyler Shough for the rest of the year. We're going to be looking forward to that. Yeah, the Saints are going to be taking on the Rams. They're the biggest underdog in the NFL. We've got a whole lot of fun.
The men of faith do not believe in Halloween, so I'm not happy with it.
Oh yeah.
What are the boys dressing up as?
So we have a Fall Guys blow up Sonic the Hedgehog. We have a Tyrannosaurus Rex. We have a Godzilla, and I will be Hulk Hogan.
Okay, Turtle. What's the little one dressing up as?
One of the Three Musketeers. He's absolutely infatuated with the 2003 Mickey, Donald, and Goofy version of the Three Musketeers.
Okay.
And, I'm going to be one of the other ones.
Nick, what are the little ones dressing up as?
I believe Nico is going to be Batman. Kennedy is like some kind of princess or something like that. And Luca is actually going to Disney World with Terrence.
Okay.
So,
Damien, Caroline?
That's a good question. Terrible dad. Don't know.
You're going to a high school football game Friday?
I will not be, but I don't know what my kid's dressing up as.
All right, fair enough.
I can second the fact he's a terrible dad. He never even knows what to get her for her birthday.
I felt like a jerk today. Caroline wanted to stay at practice, and that is the only person in the world that can make me be nice is Caroline. I said, I got to be a little rough today. I said, I'm going to need you to go home.
I was telling Claire that her and I should just get one of us get a 6 and the other one get a 7 on their shirt. And we could just aggravate Victor and Silas all night, just going 6, 7, 6, 7.
Oh,
so
yes.
they could finally.
If only you knew somebody who could make a 6 and 7 shirt.
I think I have the capabilities.
Let's talk about the LSU situation. Saturday was an absolute show. Crazy. LSU was winning at halftime, like 18-14 or whatever. Who would have thought that 2 hours later, after leading at halftime, the entire fan base would be all out on a coach. The coach would be led into the locker room by his associate athletic director, doesn't go to the podium till an hour later. So I think he was told at that time, not that he was fired, but hey, look, bruh, tomorrow we got to get some organized here. Then the next day, Sunday, we got rumors leaking of, hey, there's going to be some big changes. We're thinking staff changes. Reportedly, that's what it was going to be, where Woodward wanted him to fire his offensive coordinator. Brian Kelly responds back in an interview in a meeting with Woodward. Yeah, I just want to fire everybody. Why don't we just fire everybody but me? Woodward says, yeah, that's not feasible. That's kind of dumb. We're not doing that.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Doesn't work for me, brother. And then they start butting heads. And then it sounds like the bomb kind of got dropped a little bit where, yeah, we're going to fire you. And, oh, yeah, we're not going to pay your full buyout. We got to negotiate this. Things got icky in a hurry, and Mr. Kelly is no longer in Baton Rouge. There's so many layers. We could talk about who we want to be the next coach. We could talk about whatever. So I'll just throw it to the floor. It has been a soap opera of 3-4 days in Baton Rouge. What do y'all want to talk about in terms of this situation?
We just continue to talk about how weird Brian Kelly is. Even the video of him going into the office to get fired was awkward.
Did y'all see the story that his fingerprint didn't work on Sunday morning?
He had to wave himself in.
Moody fingerprint.
And then
Why is
the
it not
next day,
working?
he's at Superior Grill by himself. You know how weird it is to just eat lunch by yourself?
Reportedly, he drank a 40, a tall boy, while eating dinner by himself.
40.
I mean, you give me $800,000 a month,
Yeah.
I'd be drinking more than 40s.
It seems like it was so long ago, that Texas A&M game. Like, you just brought it up, and I'm like, that was last week?
Yeah, it was like just a couple days ago.
4 days. There's so much that happened in the last 5-6 days. This seems like a month ago.
I mean, total shock, right? Nobody thought LSU would come up with another buyout.
No. Last week we were sitting here, and I kind of just jokingly brought it up, and I was like, there's no way that they're going to fire him this season, or at least anytime soon.
The next day.
Like, life comes at you fast, Brian Kelly.
Dude, that's what I'm getting at, though. Like, he went from having a lead at halftime against the number 3 team in the country to 12 hours later packing his office.
And it looked like our offense was finally starting to do what we thought it was going to do at the start of the season. Our running game was working. We were actually throwing the ball downfield. We kind of screwed up at the end, ended up with a 4-point lead going into the half, and then bottom fell out in the second half.
I think that the kids kind of quitting in the second half was the last straw.
Yep.
As you could see, they look, it's one thing to lose. It's another thing when you quit on your coach. And I think Nussmeier finally snapped whenever they called the red zone timeout, and he finally started clapping back at Kelly a little bit. The guys on defense, I think, kind of started tapping out a little bit, and it was ugly. It was an ugly scene, and I really believe, and I shared a picture, when you only got like 30 out of 100 that stay for the alma mater, hey, you got big problems.
And most of those 30 actually went into the locker room, and Frank Wilson wouldn't get them.
Yeah, you got problems. And that's, I really think Woodward, again, wanted to remedy this where you didn't have to pay that buyout. But when you call in the coach and say, Coach, how do we fix this? And his answer is, it's every single person in the building's fault but me. Let's fire everybody but me. You kind of got a problem. And look, this is not just me making this up. This is what the Advocate's reporting. His idea was on the buy to fire everybody.
He got that from his Washington, D.C. firm. Pretty hard.
Just couldn't have ended the tenure fast enough. Hey, look, I give LSU credit. And Tommy, I'm not picking on Florida. Florida played with their food and finagled with your boy Napier forever and ever. LSU had a problem. Right away, they put the AK-47 in his head and pulled the trigger. They got his ass out.
One stat I thought was ridiculous was winning percentage versus AP-ranked teams. Last 4 LSU head coaches. Nick Saban, 0.692 winning percentage. Les Miles, 0.667 winning percentage. Ed Ogeron, 0.750 winning percentage. Brian Kelly, 0.267. You can beat the easy teams, but if you can't beat ranked teams, you can't coach at LSU. Other than him being universally hated, I think that was a pretty big factor.
Who paid the buyout?
That's what everybody's asking in the chat. Who paid the buyout?
I know who paid the buyout.
Who was it, Casey?
Look at the roster. Just look at the roster.
Okay.
So it was Garrett Nussmeier's dad?
It was the Weeks' dad. Duh.
It was somebody's dad.
Oh, you said it earlier.
Will Weeks ain't got that kind of money.
That dude got it like that?
No way.
You guys are... I'm going to text it to you. I don't want to say it.
No, I got it. I didn't think that guy had it.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
He said it earlier.
The name was mentioned on this show earlier.
No, they had it. Well, yeah.
Not LSU related.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I didn't think they had it like that.
Oh, yeah, they do. And they got it like that to fill up the NIL coffers for the next coach, too, reportedly. What do y'all make of, okay, because I knew on Sunday when it was announced that he was fired and there were buyout negotiations, I knew something was fishy because there if you don't have anything going on, there's nothing to negotiate. It's just, hey, screw you, you're paying me $50-something million. Whenever there is a situation where you're having to negotiate something, there's a little more there. Reportedly, this is a rumor, but there's some gossip, and it's been widely speculated by people who are kind of in the know. There was a little bit of infidelity issues and morality clauses, and reportedly they're getting away with paying him around $27, $28 million instead of the $50-something million. Boy, if that's true, that better have been worth $20-some-odd million, whatever he was doing. Tommy, you are legalese. What could have been part of these conversations to where, but look, am I right in saying that if there was nothing illegal or anything going on, it's just, hey, screw you, I'm not meeting with you, you owe me money. But when negotiations are happening, there probably is some smoke to the fire. Otherwise, what else is there to negotiate?
I think there's a lot of moving parts on this. The first could be, it's going to be in his contract. If he gets fired, what could reduce his buyout is getting another position, whether it's media, another job, something like that. What it seems more likely, and I'm going to use our favorite word here, I'm actually going to use a good saying too. It's only a rumor, but allegedly, some people had some blackmail in their pockets, and there's words on the streets that aren't just on Baton Rouge anymore and going on national airwaves that there might have been a communion basket being passed around the suites in Baton Rouge this weekend, basically saying, hey, all that stuff, what is it worth to you to get this guy out of here? Where there's smoke, there's fire. And in the contract world, you could be as vague as you want and just have what's called, it's probably going to be an ethics clause or a morality clause or something as tight as that. And then you could fit that square peg into a round hole. And if it makes sense, then you could basically make anything you want immoral or unethical, or kind of like what happened to your boy Les Miles. Then he got himself in some trouble with some co-ed and was years beforehand, and all of a sudden he starts losing, and now what he did 6 years ago wasn't cool. So obviously it's not on that same time frame, but I think that's kind of where you're going is you could figure out whatever you want. You could twist and turn and manipulate any little situation into being unmoral or unethical towards the program, or putting the program in a bad light, or acting in a way that you shouldn't have in front of student athletes.
Good on whoever drew up that contract.
Yeah, no. Or a morality clause, or is that extortion?
I don't know if it's really extortion. I mean, you have to break the clause. You have to do something to to enact that. I don't think that's really extorting him.
What does it say about the ethics of college football or the morality of college football, where whatever he was or wasn't doing would not have mattered if they held on to an 18-14 lead against Texas A&M, but it was only after the team quit in the second half that they gave a shit about whatever it was?
It tells you that college football just rules the world. And what does it also tell you about Louisiana? That the fucking governor of the state can call an emergency meeting and essentially have your football coach fired just because he's not having a good time.
We are not going down a failed path. And I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now, we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. I'm not going to be picking the next coach. But I can promise you, we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful, and we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly, and we're going to put metrics on it, because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill. So, yeah, I absolutely. Who's that? Scott Woodward. No. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach.
Let's talk about the governor next. Today, he just embarrassed himself. He embarrassed the state of Louisiana today, in my opinion. If you guys disagree, feel free. But I mean, he's getting up there, and I don't even know if this press conference was to even talk about this, but he just starts rambling on about NIL and talking about how Woodward gave Jimbo Fisher a big extension, which is not true.
It's not true at all.
Talking about how Woodward and Jimbo and Brian Kelly all have the same agent, which is not true. Talking about how taxpayers are paying the buyout, which is not true. Just on and on, just rambling and just doing it. And it's almost like he was drunk. Talking about how Donald Trump's got a better chance to hire the next coach than Scott Woodward does. What the was he doing? What was he talking about?
Tell you what he was doing. He was hurting our chances of getting another coach that we want, because other coaches are seeing that and they're like, is this governor going to be in my business the whole time I'm trying to coach this team? Not a good look.
Education, roads, bridges, poverty, freaking SNAP benefits, Everyone's talking about it right in our faces.
Bringing back Chiquitas is big on the list. Yeah.
This is it. This is what we talking about. Oh, and a Charlie Kirk statue on campus too.
He went off on Loyola too for not. Oh, dude, he's an idiot. Little dude in the power trip.
And what is he talking about? Where did this come from? Like this big rant.
Go home, you idiot.
And look, here's the no disrespect to anybody who has an accent. He could barely talk. Hey, bro, we're not going to let Woodward do the hire, bro. And then he never said the word bruh.
He's Billy Joe.
But I hear nothing but bruhs in his lingo. What is he doing?
He's trying too hard.
I'll be honest, I voted for the dude, and I have total regret that I did because I think he's been a moron ever since he got in there. But going back to that whole ethics moral clause, does that portion hurt the chances of our next hire, being that LSU's trying to flake out on money that's owed? I feel like that's a concern of mine right now.
Maybe. It could. I'll just go ahead and get it right out. I genuinely believe next week Wade Roos is going to be hired as LSU's president. I genuinely believe that LSU is going to make a huge swing at Lane Kiffin. And I genuinely believe that part of that big swing for Lane Kiffin is going to be having Coach Orgeron on his staff.
Let me sound like Casey Gisclair right now. So I talked to somebody on Sunday that was with Mr. Roos. And he is saying that LSU is having a problem with, and I'm not going to, with something that he does. And that's the reason
I know what it is.
He may not get the job.
I know what it is.
It's not his morale or ethics clause. It's having too much morale and ethics.
He's too much of a Christian. I'll say it.
There you go. That's exactly what I was told.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this, though. Seeing the list of finalists today, I would be hard-pressed to think he doesn't get it. It's a dude from Alabama. It's a dude from, like, the University of Arizona. Like, I think today Wade cleared a big hurdle when the interim president was not one of the finalists. I think that was the only guy that could have beat him out. I think these other two are, hey, show up and interview. We'll give you a free vacation, put you up in a night. I think Wade's going to end up getting the job.
If Wade Roos gets this job, does whatever he has to do to clean up the university, clean up football first, then how about bringing back the Will Wade Roos connection?
The real Wade? Will Wade?
The Will Wade Roos connection.
We're going to have an NBA team.
I'm here for it.
And this is touching on kind of what Casey was saying. If you're seeing these like backhanded negotiations or clauses get enacted, coaches' agents are going to have to get creative and say, hey, if we're signing these, for instance, Lane is rumored what it is, 12 and a half, 13, 14. His contract is probably going to end up being $15 million a freaking year. Okay. So if he's guaranteed that and his buyout clause is like 60 and then you're trying to backdoor him, I think you're going to start to see something creative with all these athletic directors who are also getting unnecessarily wealthy for no reason, like a Woodward, to say, hey, if I'm axed and I don't get my $50 million buyout, you, sir, who hired me, you're ponying up some of your money to make ends meet. I think that could be sort of like a contingency fee contract with the ADs and these power coaches. That would be a movement I could get behind because now, I mean, I love it because everybody's all over Woodward like, he's the one who did Jimbo. Now he did BK. Like, he's horrible. Well, if you're going to trust this dude to pick your next successor, then he better be as confident and say, okay, fine. I'm making X amount of million a year. I'll throw up 15, 20% of my salary if he gets fired. Because then now your ass is to the fire. You know, I mean, this is your
That's
dude.
a good point.
Put your money where your mouth is. That's what I think. I would like to see that.
I think that makes perfect sense.
Let me bring another point into the argument and kind of go like completely opposite of what I said 5 minutes ago. If Jeff Landry doesn't sound like he's not from Brobridge, from under Brobridge.
Under Brobridge, correct.
And if he shows up, speaks like he knows what's going on, doesn't worry about dumb stuff that doesn't matter, and he presents it in a way of, hey, if we keep getting the wrong coaches here and people keep leaving early and people keep losing faith in this program, it's hurting tax revenue and growth for our state.
Mm-hmm.
And he presents it in a professional way. You think people kind of like, oh, okay. Maybe the governor does need to step in.
Dude, I don't think his message was necessarily the problem.
His delivery was
right.
awful,
It's just that he came off like a dick. That was the problem. There should be concerns about Woodward's role in this process. And I do think they're approaching it right, where they're getting a committee and it's going to be a team approach and we're going to be more mindful of the contract. But when you start talking about Donald Trump hiring the guy, like he was just off his rocker. But the general message wasn't terrible. You're right. It was more of a delivery thing for me.
He sounded like a babyface wrestler coming into the ring, just hitting keywords just to try to get
Amos
a pop.
Moses.
Donald Trump has a better chance, and the crowd goes crazy.
Just getting one cheap pop after the other.
Sounds like something Jim Trusty would say.
We need a Charlie Kirk statue. Yeah.
But instead of getting that cheap pop, we were all saying what at the end of every one of his sentences.
What?
Charlie Kirk. What? Donald Trump's going to make the hire. What? Tommy, objectively, take the Florida hat off, take the LSU hatred off. Everybody around the country is saying that if Lane is serious about leaving Ole Miss and the options are LSU and Florida, Feinbaum has said it's going to be LSU. Your boy Klatt has said it's going to be LSU. A lot of the folks are saying that if it truly is LSU or Florida, it's going to be LSU. Are you jiving with that? Are you willing to be objective and concede that, or do you have a different viewpoint?
I'm clinging to give me three main things. Is everything I've read, and I've liked Lane for a while, even when he screwed up in Tennessee. He seems to think of Steve Spurrier as like a demigod, down from his attitude to the visor. He was raised in Florida. His dad coached in Tampa Bay forever. Like, he is a Florida Gulf Coast dude. I know you could say, well, Louisiana's Gulf Coast. Yeah, but it's not Florida. It's not the
I
beaches.
got you. Yeah, I got you.
So those two things, plus there is no fan base in the world that will turn on you quicker than Baton Rouge. And I think with how some of his past transgressions and jobs have ended up, he would maybe want to go to the safer play, because getting Florida back into a respectable light and I guess contending is good enough for us. Well, I'm going to say us, pronouns, pal. That's going to be good enough for us to not barely scrape 500 every year and go to a bowl game and be in the BCS playoff. Not getting LSU back to a national title game in the next 3 years is going to be an abject failure to this fan base. I think the money's going to be similar. Strickland's on his last leg too. So let's not sugarcoat what he's done. He screwed everything up over there. They're not even good at baseball really anymore. So they won basketball, but I guess you could say it's the same thing. LSU won baseball, but what does everybody only care about is football? That's my objective opinion. Is there's just the Steve Spurrier aspect is, and just the whole, I lived in Florida my whole life. He just down to the visor, like he's a Florida looking dude. And I think LSU would turn their back on him if he started pulling Lane Kiffin transgressions here quicker than Florida would.
Yeah, I think that's all fair. Now, let me bounce this off of all of the boys. We've got two situations that I think most LSU fans would consider like their dream situations. The first is Nick coming back. The second would be Lane coming. Would you guys prefer getting the GOAT at 74, maybe only 3-4 years? Don't know if he likes this NIL thing. Or would you prefer Lane, who's never won one, but he's going to come with Bebe. He's going to keep Frank Wilson. He might keep Brent Baker. Which one of those two scenarios, if it is one of the two, and it might not be either, but I'm just saying, if it is one of the two, do you want the GOAT, who's older? We don't know if he's still got it. The younger guy, and you're going to get Bebe. Which one would you prefer out of the two?
The thing that scares me about Lane Kiffin, and I had an idea to ask a question to the panel, but the guy hasn't won anything as a head coach. He hasn't been the head guy in a very, very successful season. It always bad, basically what we have now. That is a concern of mine. Do I think he's going to end up being the coach at LSU? I think he probably will be, because LSU probably has the most attractive offer with the talent base that is in the state and a lot of little brother schools in the state. Saban would be great, but he's not the answer. He's not the long-term solution. You're going to be doing this again in a couple years. I think the game's passed him by a little bit. Name value, sure, it sounds great, but you just brought back an old coach that's won a ton of games in Belichick, and that is not going very well. I need a proven winner. I need somebody that's been there, and Kiffin's it would be the cool pick. Obviously, we'd have a lot of attention on the program, and it would be fun. But I don't know if it's necessarily the guy that's going to lead us to another national championship.
Okay, so would you guys rather Lanning at Oregon? And again, I don't think he would accept that. He turned down Alabama.
So with Lanning, he turned down Alabama after Saban left.
So did he turn down Alabama, or did he turn down replacing Nick Saban?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he turned down replacing Nick Saban because you're in a no-win situation. If you keep it going to where you get 10 wins a season, that's terrible. Stay at Oregon, you get that Nike money. Kalen DeBoer wouldn't take all the fire for you. So if you're not replacing Saban, if Kalen DeBoer gets fired, now's the time to take that Alabama job. He's not having to replace Nick Saban at LSU. I think it's more of a good situation to leave Oregon, leave Phil Knight, leave the Nike money, come down and get you some chicken tender money at LSU.
Tommy, I'm going to ask it to you from a different perspective. If it's not Lane at Florida, who's your second choice, so to speak? So we could kind of think of who are some of the guys that you like. Obviously, you want for LSU to get James Franklin. But for Florida, who's your second guy if it's not Lane Kiffin?
I was going to answer the question that was posed. The three guys I don't want going to LSU are Lane Kiffin, John Gruden, and whoever y'all want to go to LSU. That's my three choices. Honestly, if we don't get Lane, I want John Gruden in Florida. I want somebody who's attitude and a visor. I think that checks my boxes. The three guys I do want to go to LSU in this order:
Ryan Curo,
Billy Napier, James Franklin, and then Nick Saban. I want Nick Saban to go because, just like Belichick, he doesn't fit in this era. I think it would be such a glorious homecoming. Everybody in the state would be, oh, my God, the king has returned. And he would fall flat on his ass because he would not be able to compete. And he's also old enough to be my great-grandpa.
Wouldn't there be a small part of you that be worried that it'd be the devil's last stand and he would just run roughshod on everybody one last time?
Would only last like 2 or 3 years. I would not. And then we'd be in this whole cycle again. And little Dan Lanning wouldn't want to come down from Oregon and replace Nick Saban. And then y'all would end up with Billy Napier, and we'll be okay.
You get Nick Saban, it's a culture shift. From everything you hear, the LSU culture right now, it's soft. Lost Tommy Moffitt. Defense is soft. They don't practice as hard as they did with Saban.
He would have an aneurysm trying to coach this team right now, and I would love it.
We need that toughness back in the building. I don't think we have in that. And to answer the original question about Lane Kiffin, I just jotted down some Lane Kiffin records. Lane Kiffin, Raiders head coach, 5-15. Lane Kiffin at USC, 28-15. Lane Kiffin at Tennessee, 7-6. Lane Kiffin at FAU, 27-13. Ole Miss, 51-19, but 29-17 in the SEC. This is the guy that everybody's clamoring for to be the LSU coach. I like Lane Kiffin, but the record's there.
he hasn't won.
And here's the thing that I got to – Ole Miss is not a good job, though. What he's doing there is he's doing that with Ole Miss, Mississippi recruits, with Louisiana recruits. He never had Jamar Chase and Jefferson, and just think it would be different. Maybe I'm wrong.
Raiders Lane Kiffin, Tennessee Lane Kiffin. That's 6th grade Lane Kiffin. He's grown now. He's going to be a grown-ass man.
Lane Kiffin's dad was a legendary defensive coordinator.
Tampa 2 don't work in college.
Go look at Babe's Ole Miss record and tell me what it was.
Did you ever hear how Lane Kiffin got into coaching? And it had nothing to do with his dad, which shocked me.
Yeah.
He was playing at Fresno State as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman comes in named David Carr, and Lane Kiffin's like, whatever, he went to talk to the coach, and he's like, I don't think I'm going to be seeing the field. Or the coach that said, Lane, you're probably not going to be getting on the field. We got this freshman quarterback who's a stud.
Lane, what you doing in this quarterback room?
A graduate assistant. So Lane took off his shoulder pads and came out in the polo, and he started coaching.
Wow. That is a pretty funny story. So we'll see. Look, I'll ask you guys this. Are there any sleepers out there? Not the big fish, not the Sabans, not the Kiffins. Every time I put a poll on Facebook, it drives me crazy. Oh, bro, I don't want either one of them.
Another guy, a young guy, unproven that I keep hearing is Kelvin Shepherd. I don't think he gets it. I don't think you pay a buyout of $50 million or whatever it may end up being to hire somebody who doesn't have skins on the wall, and I think that's what's going to hurt Kelvin Shepherd.
What about Frank Wilson?
He would have to win out.
Yeah.
because look, the UTSA thing didn't work good for him.
I'm not a fan.
I don't think Frank Wilson's leaving when we get this new coach, so it's not like you're losing Frank Wilson if you don't promote him.
And look, golly, this is going to sound so bad. This is not Casey talking. Jeff Landry ain't hiring a black dude with dreads who coaches for the Detroit Lions. I'm sorry. I don't care what he does as the defensive coordinator. That ain't happening.
Sounds like the Wizards talking here.
This name keeps coming up, and he's got SEC ties. Dillingham in Arizona State. 35 years old, young guy, offensive guy, was at Oregon, was at Auburn. What do y'all think about him?
I like him. I don't think he's doing good enough at Arizona State to warrant an LSU job.
It's going to be interesting to see.
They did pretty damn good last year.
The pool is very deep right now. When you start talking about, the Oregon guy and Lane and Nick. But if that well dries, it gets shallow really fast. So it's going to be interesting to see.
What's our old offensive coordinator that's with the Bills now?
Brady?
Yeah.
Latelco Joe Brady.
So what you think about him?
The MO on him, the reason why he left the college game is they said he didn't want to recruit.
Right.
I don't want that. I like a guy who knows his X's and O's, but I don't want a guy.
I have a good feeling he's on the short list for head coaches in the NFL next coming season.
Drinkwitz, that's a name that's come up. Everybody hated him in my bracket. He would keep Blake Baker because they worked together at Missouri. Are we even sure that Blake Baker needs to be kept after watching the defense the last couple of weeks? But here's the thing, man. Can I just go ahead and get this out of the way? Harold Perkins is overrated as hell, man. Watching him try to spy the quarterback the last 2 weeks has been deplorable. What is going on there? 2 weeks in a row, they have the right plan. Hey, we're going to spy. And then dude is just like, hey, which way did he go, George? Hey, just not even looking at the quarterback half of the time. There's nobody who's lost himself more money except maybe Garrett Nussmeier coming back to school than number 7 did this year. He looks lost.
You think he's truly lost, or has he lost so much faith in Brian Kelly that he's doing it on purpose?
Maybe that.
I think at this point you can't rule out any sort of stupidity.
It could be that. I hope for his sake it is that, because goddamn, man, like watching the A&M quarterback, they have a spy set up every time, and he just either takes a bad angle or is like not even paying attention, and the quarterback just goes score. What's going on?
Typical LSU breakout freshman that just the bed for the rest of his career. Probably doing the Justin Vincent. Just hanging out in the bars.
And sometimes those guys end up going pro and being good, like Kayshon Boutte, who's a freaking stud right now in New England. So it's crazy, man.
Did Kiffin's son come on a recruiting visit to LSU?
He did.
Yeah, he's Big Funchak quarterback at Oxford High School.
That could be one thing leaning in LSU's favor is he's recently reconnected his whole family in Mississippi, and Mississippi is a lot closer to Baton Rouge than Florida, than Gainesville.
So how does Lane Kiffin recruit his son? How does this work?
Hey, Bebe, go sign him.
But don't I'm not sure exactly with the you can only have this amount of time with the recruit or whatever, and this amount this visits or whatever.
This ain't NCAA 26, bro. You can't say
it's got.
Think he's got to text his family.
How does that work? Is there stuff you can't talk to your son about? I mean, I don't see that making any sense.
Is your son going to turn you into the NCAA?
I understand what you're saying. If it's a dark period, can Lane not text his son hey, you want Taco Bell, bro? I'm going
improper benefits.
I do get what you're getting at.
No scholarship for a beef and cheese burrito.
You want to LSU this weekend? What the fuck? Come on, Dad. I got invited to go to the campus.
Get where you're going. I don't know how that works. I really don't. They tell me Lil Junior could play, so that would be ideal if he could get in the purple and gold. And
can we do some research to make sure Oxford is not just like Newman of Northwest Mississippi, play it against a bunch of before we crown him?
Another little wrinkle I just thought of is where Lane goes, he's going to bring your boy with him, Trinidad.
So he's not a senior?
Is he? I thought he was a junior. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure he's a senior.
Oh, never mind. Because I was because he ain't going to Florida over Lagway.
Why is Pavia still trying to sue and get another year? Dude, you're having a breakout year. Go to the pros, bro.
Uncle Rico.
How long does he want to play college football? He's still fighting this thing.
Theo Vaughn's going to be a stepdad, so he doesn't need any more money.
Dude, he's the king of Nashville right now. What might happen if he keeps getting better and better and better? He gets drafted high. Then he's going to be, play for the Titans and suck and everyone's going to hate him?
But he's going to have a $50 million rookie contract if that happened. I get what you're saying, though. It's the same thing like what we see with Flau'jae and them. They all say, well, look, I'm never going to be a big enough star as I am in college, so why don't I just ride it out and get the NIL money? So
forever legendary.
Talked about the coaching situation. We talked about the people we would like to see. $169 million in dead money owed to college football coaches. That's insane. Let me ask you guys this, and it's not on the list. I'll just throw it out there. Who's the best team in the country right now?
Until somebody beats Ohio State, their defense is playing awesome. Their offense is doing pretty good.
I don't necessarily disagree. I think Indiana would maybe have a shot. Who you guys think is the best team in the country?
Ohio State.
It's whoever's going to win the Big Ten title. It's either Ohio State or Indiana.
God, it makes me sick.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that's who's going to win the national championship, because you just got to get hot at the right reasons with the way the playoffs are set up.
Correct. I just think those are the two best teams now, and they're on a crash
Do
course.
they play each other?
They're going to play in a title game, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the
Indiana's
conference
got a
championship.
cakewalk the rest of the season.
That's what I'm sorry. I keep saying title game, conference championship.
If they are both undefeated in said title game, they both will have their playoff spots cinched. How hard will they go, knowing that, hey, look, we're both in. We don't want to show too many secrets. We might play like you get a bye, but the buys didn't work last year for the teams that got them. Like, is this situation where we could see in a conference championship game teams like resting starters and stuff like that?
No, you got to go for that conference championship win. You got to go out as the big dogs.
I think at worst case, you lose your 4. You're going to have like 1-4. I mean,
It's not even wrestling their stars when they're up like 40 or whatever on the team. They kicking field goals late in the fourth quarter. I don't think they're going to be tanking or resting anybody in a conference championship game.
Both of those coaches probably have money incentives for winning the conference championship.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I wonder if there's like some NIL incentive laden things too, which would also be a big factor. If we win conference, you get an extra $50,000 from, Joe Schmo.
I assume they do that because think about it. How many? You only have so many conference champions a year. I mean, that's the way you would have to pad those deals. Like, hey, you get $5 million, 100 of which is if you win a national title, or I would assume they lay those contracts with that.
Yeah, that shoots my theory. They're not going to be tanking. They're going to be trying to win that for sure.
Got some somewhat breaking news.
What's up?
Who's our favorite sportscaster?
Casey just
T-Bob.
Thank you.
Joel Klatt.
Oh, damn.
He's big on the Lane train coming down.
Said, if I had to bet, Lane Kiffin is your next coach at LSU.
He's been all aboard. Feinbaum's been all aboard. There's been a lot of people that are saying that for whatever reason, Lane just has this allure. He likes Baton Rouge and whatever it may be. Do y'all think, and I don't know what the money's going to look like. I don't know what the situation is. Coach O went out of his way today to say, and he was actually, if Lane goes and is the head coach, would you work under your buddy Lane Kiffin? Before the question was even finished, he said, yes, absolutely. Would Bebe rather be at 60-something years old, an assistant under his buddy at the school that he dearly loves? But that interview today, it actually was kind of tugged at the heartstrings a little bit. That man still loves LSU. Would he rather be at LSU with his partner, or would he rather be at a smaller school, the head man, if the money is fairly comparable?
From that interview, it sounded like he wants to be at LSU no matter what the position. And how can you tell him no?
I agree with that.
He's never done anything for the school. Bring that dude back in any
He said
fashion.
he's willing to coach the defensive line.
Just go recruit. It's all we need you for, bro.
Dude,
You don't have to coach anything.
That's what I'm getting at, though. That's for LSU. That's the lottery. Lane, and then can you imagine Bebe and Frank Wilson both recruit? Dude, that's the lottery. You get your offensive guy, and then you have nothing but studs with NIL backing. That's your Powerball ticket, right?
Bebe has the whole South Beach area on lock when it comes to recruits.
The whole boardwalk. I didn't even think about that. I guess I didn't put two and two together. That sells me on Kiffin. I think both of them, if that's a package deal, I'm taking that.
So now I'll flip it over Tommy's way. Tommy, if Lane were to choose Florida, would Bebe go with him to Florida? Or is that an LSU only thing while you are expressing your COVID publicly to everyone?
Counselor COVID.
I don't think he'd go back to Florida.
I don't think so either.
I think he's happy doing what he does on his little media tour, running shirtless, trying to fight random people for calling him out. And he would just go to LSU to be the most popular person in the state again.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that for sure.
I'd say either his choices are going to be either Miami as just a D-line coach or whatever. His boys are both What are they?
Like some GAs and like analysts.
Or Tulane head coach job, if that happens to open up, I think he would be a good fit there.
That's a possibility too.
And if he just wants to come to LSU to recruit and coach the D-line, come on, baby.
Here's the thing with Tulane, though. And if you're a Tulane fan, this is going to piss you off, but I think it's true. That's a snooty patootie place. You really think they're hiring, baby?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like right at the interview, the president's going to be walking in suit and tie. Hello, Mr. Ogeron. How are you doing today?
Hey, Ball. What's going on, Ball?
This will conclude today's interview, Mr. Ogeron. Thank you.
Hey, Ball, you don't want to talk about football?
No, sir. We are finised here.
I thought Tommy's Bebe was pretty good. That was pretty good too, Kate.
No pipe for you? Oh, where will you matriculate with all the students in the fall?
Schematically, look, him in New Orleans, him recruiting, like all of that makes sense. I just think,
And you retain Frank.
right. I see the vision.
I think that's the only way Kiffin works,
That might be the Mount Rushmore of recruiters.
is if O's there with him.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, you didn't know?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We want to thank all of our sponsors: Buzz Off Mosquito Control, Down South Cards and Bats, LaFouche Concert and Events Club, DTB Clothing, Riley John's Blue Boot Foundation, Martin's AC and Electric, Neil's Small Engine. If you need a lawyer, you better call Bado Performance Automotive and Accessories. And of course, last but not least, our sponsor of our Mount Rushmore, Precision Agri Spray. We thank them so much.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Let's talk about Tyler Shough. A little bit less over topic than the New Age Outlaws. We get earlier in the week that the Saints are going to start Shough, which I thought, it makes sense. He got his chance. I didn't think he played great, but, hey, give him starters reps, give them a shot. Rattler's not playing well. Now, let me ask you this. This part is what surprised me. The news that dropped today, Kellen Moore said, and I don't know why you have to say this, because, I don't know what happens now if Shough goes 7 for 38 with 4 interceptions on Sunday. Why did Kellen Moore have to come out and say he's the quarterback for the rest of the year? That's the part that feels a little bit unnecessary to me, because now it feels like you backed yourself into a corner. Not a surprise that it's Shough, but it is a little bit of a surprise that they went out of their way to say, he's the dude, stop asking me, he's the dude for the rest of the year.
The whole team is I feel like it's just lost, that they just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. I don't think Rattler was the problem. I say that every week. They going to replace the quarterback instead of replacing the offensive line, trying something different. All preseason, I was a big Tyler Shough guy. Now I could really give a shit less. Not really interested in that. Just
You threw 4 passes and you already off the train?
Let's get to 1-7. How many games?
16, 1-16.
That may
And
be
let's
why they
get a
made
good
the
draft pick.
switch.
Let's go draft Drew Aller or something like that in another 10 years.
But why put that on the kid to where now he's the guy? Again, I'll ask, what happens if it's 10 for 36 with 100 yards and 4 interceptions? How's that make Rattler feel? Who, oh, by the way, is younger than Shough. Hey, no matter what, I just can't play again until this guy gets hurt.
Maybe he's giving his quarterback some confidence. He didn't have to look, have his back turned and think he's going to get the hook every time he throws a bad pass.
I guess that's a good point, too. Turtle, what were your thoughts? Were you surprised to see Shough, A, get the nod, and B, now get the nod with some rope?
Get the nod, no, but the whole it's going to be yours. I mean, that unless it's 100% Damian's theory that he just mentioned, it's ridiculous. Why would you come out and just say something like that? To just close the book on Rattler. What does that do to his confidence? What happens when you need him?
To do what? To do what exactly? You need Spencer Rattler for?
What about when Shough gets a concussion?
You put in Hainer.
That's where I want this season to go. I told y'all this in the actual group chat. The season starts when we're trotting Hainer's pretty ass out there.
Jesus.
That's when the season begins.
I'm going back. Give me one reason you need Spencer Rattler's confidence to be high. Anybody.
I ain't got it.
The only thing I got is that he's younger than Hainer, and he might be better than Hainer, and he might be your starter next year because everybody in the draft sucks. Other than that,
the best 1-12 quarterback to ever take a snap in the professional football.
Might be a good locker room guy.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd be a big morale guy.
He's a glue guy.
Tommy, you don't like Shough. What were your thoughts as Kellen Moore said, hey, here's the keys. Go crash the Ferrari into a building somewhere?
Mr. Great Dad's beating his kids right now.
I got kicked out of my den, okay? So I'm readjusting. I don't understand it going to y'all points. I don't see why you have to anoint a starter for the rest of the year. In the NFL, you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to play to win games. That's supposed to be your MO. So shouldn't that be a week-by-week thing? I get it. He was a second-round pick, but you didn't start him off from the year. You had all that to go through his growing pains and see progressions. What did you all of a sudden see? I get it. Rattler's had a bad string of weeks. He finally started to turn the ball over, but you sit him down in that game. You use the cliche, hey, I just wanted a spark. Maybe give Shough a start, but don't just say, hey, you're starting for the rest of the season, because you're right. What happens if he comes in and looks as terrible as we all think he's going to? Then, yeah, you just kind of burned your bridge with Rattler. Or does Rattler even want to come back? He'll saying the right things now, but he hasn't had the best attitude in his life. So, I don't know. Pretty interesting.
Who the hell's going to want him?
Who's going to want you now?
The Titans.
Over under 1.5 more wins for this team the rest of the season.
They're going to get 2 more wins.
So you're going over, Turtle?
Over, one more than what Tommy said.
Ooh, what was the
3
question?
more. Over under 1.5 more wins for New Orleans the rest of the year.
Definitely under.
Yeah, I'm going under as well. I think they'll get one more.
Who are they going to beat?
They're going to beat the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Jets.
It's going to be stupid.
You think they stopping Bijan Robinson?
Absolutely.
I know he got stopped last week and he eliminated me from the damn Survivor League.
You're out?
Oh, yeah.
The Panthers shut him out.
What's the issue with the Pelicans in the third quarter? They got outscored 39-11 in the third quarter tonight.
They got Schwest.
Been that way since 2007.
It's all about your lineups. They go weak in the third quarter. You got their alternates in there.
Imagine if the NBA had to do Biddy All-Star.
I wish they would.
You know how amazing that would be? The Lakers would have to figure out ways to stagger LeBron and Luka and
can't press until the fourth quarter.
Let's do this. We'll chat GPT a list of tiered players.
Make big lineups.
We're going to make a draft.
Okay.
A 12-person roster, and you got to set your lineups. And we'll go through.
Everybody has to play 2 quarters except the alternates?
Everybody got to play one.
Oh, okay.
Does anybody?
All-stars.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Who's your alternates?
Nick.
Well, right now, the Pelicans. The Pelicans and Indiana Pacers are both winless, tied with the Brooklyn Nets. So they have the highest odds for the first overall pick.
The Pacers have a good excuse for this.
Yeah, they do.
But this is where it gets good, because just a couple months ago, the Pelicans own both the Pacers pick and their own, which they traded away.
I have that aneurysm watching that draft. Because
Moody Joe Dumars. By the time we do this again next week, Willie Green will be out of a job. Ooh. They're 0-4. They just got their ass beat tonight. They played the Clippers Friday on the road. They play Oklahoma City. They're going to get back home Monday, and he's going to get that call from Mr. Loomis or whoever the hell, Dumars, whoever. Hey, Willie, why don't you go ahead and call your boy BK and see where he got his U-Haul from, because you ain't going to be doing this anymore. They're going to be 0-6. And they're going to fire his ass before we do our next show next Wednesday.
Everybody that still has a job, take one step forward. Not so fast, Willie.
So fast. Casey, question. How long until LSU actually hires somebody?
Mid-December, maybe late December, because I was actually researching this, because we have said many times, and we were actually a little wrong on this, so I should clean this up. We said that if someone makes the college football playoff, that it eliminates them. It's pretty much if they make the semifinals of the college football playoff that it eliminates them. The first round's like in mid-December. The second round is like around New Year's. The portal window doesn't open till like January the 4th. So really, you could get somebody in the playoff to leave their school after they've been eliminated, as long as they're not in the Final Four. So I think mid to late December is when LSU's going to make their
What if you hire someone who isn't currently with a team right now? Saban.
I mean, I guess in theory they could announce like, hey, he's going to be supervising the program for the rest of the year, and then he's going to take – yeah, you could do that whenever. I mean, just whenever you want to sign him to a contract. But Bay said today he'd get in his truck tomorrow and drive to Baton Rouge and be LSU's head coach. They can
truck.
Oh, yeah. Did you think? Absolutely has a truck.
Jacked up.
If there's anybody in the world who has a truck, can you imagine him showing up in a little bitty Ford Taurus?
That little car that Brian Kelly drove off in? No, that's not a Coach O.
Hey, it's Coach O. You like my Taurus?
No, we don't like your Taurus, baby.
Coach O got a black Benz, huh?
I'm sure he does, but he's got like a Z71, some kind of badass work truck or something.
AI says there's no public information about what kind of car former Coach Ed Orgeron currently drives. However, a vintage commercial from his time at Ole Miss, he had a 2000s Hummer.
Did he ever have a Hummer? That was the greatest commercial of all time.
Hey, I'm Coach O. I just love my Hummer. I believe the Hummer is the best vehicle on the road. Big, tough, aggressive, and it represents everything that we want at Ole Miss. I have my Hummer. You need a Hummer. Tell them about it, JoJo.
Mississippi, they are here. The new Rogers Dabbs H3 Hummers are here.
The folks at Rogers Dabbs Hummer are first-team players. Come see them.
Rogers Dabbs and Hummer like nothing else. New H3 starting at just $32,000.
Love it.
There's never been anybody more uncomfortable than he was making that commercial. Have y'all seen that?
Hey, it's Coach O. I have a Hummer. You have a Hummer. Come get out.
Bro, I know you know what we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
This was absolutely amazing.
I was trying to say, more importantly, next time we meet, this time next week, college basketball will be underway.
Hey.
Too soon.
Prediction about the Heels, 20-plus wins, 3 seed, 4 seed. What are we looking at?
4 seed, 21 wins. Hubert keeps his job. Caleb Wilson, ACC Freshman of the Year, over the Boozer bitches.
So that was the Boozer bitches. That was the next layer to the question. What has to happen for Hubert to lose his job? Miss the tournament?
No, he just has to get lower than a 10 seed. I think if he makes the tournament, he ain't backtracking into the tournament again.
Okay.
He has the same season he had last year. He's gone.
Okay.
He gone.
And I'm going to hate to say this. The murmurings, and I quit subscribing because On3 took over the Rivals Network, and I don't really like On3. But I think the NC State basketball boosters are becoming eerily LSU-ish on Hubert Davis.
Yeah, buddy.
No way, baby.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
for once, I'm for it. I don't know if I have to write another $500 check myself to get him fired, but let's pass the basket to Louisiana. I'll contribute something. Let's get it done.
So, but look, man, North Carolina's got Belichick on the football side. They're going to hire Popovich to replace Hubert Davis. What are they going to do?
No, I think they're going to go get Wes Miller or somebody else.
You got the new 2K?
No.
We need somebody to get the new 2K and then go computer versus computer, simulate those games in a tournament, see which team wins.
I don't have 2K. I'll buy it when we all buy it because I'm not going to play my career.
Speaking of PlayStation, I'm in a online dynasty with Victor and his friends.
Heard you got your ass kicked the other day.
They are pretty good at the game. I am very, very good at recruiting. So I played a long game. We started out in the Sun Belt, so all our teams were like low 70s. We're in year 3. My team is in the 90s, and they're in this high 70s, low 80s.
Dude, this was...
And they quit. They quit to start a new damn league.
This was me with SJ and Ryder. Year 1, they trade every first-round pick for the next 30 years, stack their team at the first offseason. They're in salary cap hell. They have to cut everybody. They have no draft picks. I'm sitting here. I got all the salary cap space, all the picks. Everything looks good. Yeah, we quit. Bruh. What have I been doing with the last 6 weeks of my life? What?
That's where I'm at right now. I have Southern Miss loaded, and they just going to start a new league.
You got to throw up $100 to enter. You got a Venmo. We're going to hold it in a pot. You quit, you don't get your money back.
Moody.
So I'm still waiting for y'all to get the game. And Tommy, you got the game?
Yeah,
you got it from the start.
Now's actually a good time for me because there's no middle school every single night of the week. Now's actually a good time for me to focus on a little bit. In fact, I played 90 minutes of golf today. I was hitting balls. So we actually got a little free time now.
The online dynasties are really good. You can cross-platform with it.
And that's all for us tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed tonight's show. We will be back next week. I don't know that it'll be as crazy of a week as this past week was, but if it is, we'll be ready for it. You guys have a safe and wonderful weekend.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
And as always, Go Tarps, and God bless America.
Oh, I agree.
Well, the mic turns red when the group chat speaks. They're stirring up trouble every other week with a list so bold it'll split the room. Talking about real Americans and hotel perfume. They said, rank your drink before 10 a.m. Now every day